Hey guys, how are you? What's going on? Oh, V, right on time and early. Hey Nikki. You said
How you
Bozeman?
do?
You said Bozeman on the list? I'm sorry, I don't see
Hey,
it.
Jaden.
V Bozeman on the list? I don't see it. Boo, it's not
I'm
here.
on the list. I
I'm just
better
kidding.
be on the list.
How are you?
Good. Hey, Damon. You
Good
look
to
cute.
see you. You look cute as well. You look great. Love your makeup.
Thank you. Pat
How you
McGrath.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. It's a pretty day outside. I went
Good.
to the grocery store and, you know, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I had a very productive day. Um, so V, you have a new single out,
Yes,
which we're
I
very
do.
excited about. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I just want to see, like, so it's probably a busy time for you. You've been promoting it, I see, kind of everywhere this week, right?
Yep.
I,
Grinding it out. Getting the
I
word
love
out.
I love the cover. Who did the cover?
Stephen Garnett did the cover. Isn't
That's
it cute?
that's amazing. It's really good. Who styled
Yeah.
that?
Sankara. She's an amazing stylist, an artistry, and since the single's called Juicy, we wanted to kind of have that whole
Make you
vibration.
juicy. Make you,
Yeah,
which it does. So that's great.
yeah.
Um, so V, I do this show every night. I do it 7 nights a week. It's called Legendary Talks, and basically it's about culture and music. So I kind of swap stories back and forth with friends, that have been, important to culture. So I want to ask you some cultural questions, before we get into Juicy. So
Okay.
you're South Central, right?
Yep. Born and raised on the East Side.
Good. That's part of your charm. And what was the first kind of song you remember? Like, what's the first song you like that you actually connected with and remember? Like, it could be 4 years old, 6 years old, whatever.
I was probably six, and it was The Color Purple when Suge Avery sang, "God is trying to tell you something."
Oh, good.
First.
I mean, that's a great one. And then, when did you start singing? Like, how did you start singing? When did you start singing?
I don't remember not singing.
Oh, amazing.
I don't
Good.
remember not ever singing.
Great.
I always remember that I always knew I could sing, and I was always in the mirror with that red brush singing.
Got it.
And my mom said I was always singing. So I can't remember, Damon, and that's the honest to God's truth.
I believe you. I believe you. Amazing. So, when's the first time you actually sang, like, in public? Church or whatever?
The first time I sang in public was at my grandma's church, Cross of Christ Baptist Church in L.A. And basically, it was a very, very old church, mostly, older members there. And I sang This Little Light of Mine.
Oh,
And
cute.
my grandma was like, "Baby, you want to sing?" I was like, "Yeah." So I went up there, and all the missionary women were like, "Come on, baby, sing." And
Oh,
I sang This Little Light of Mine, and that was the start of this whole situation.
how
So
old were
my
you?
grandma really, really like encouraged me.
Oh, how old were you?
I was like probably six.
Yeah.
I would say around 6 or 7.
And then, when did you kind of realize that there was a certain power in singing?
When I would see how like the real singers in church that
Yeah.
I studied, how they would affect the everybody in church, how they would like get the Holy Ghost and all of that stuff, especially going down south. I'm talking about when you go down south, when it's like the dirt roads and all of that stuff, and you go to them
Yep.
back house churches. I'm
Yep.
talking about for real, the
Yep.
sanctified religious. And I saw the Holy Ghost all over just from somebody singing and how they were saying. It was like you could taste the ham hocks
Amazing.
and the greens and the cornbread when they it was
Um,
powerful. It was powerful to experience.
I'm listening to what you're saying, but I'm distracted by how pretty your eyes look, sidebar, and your makeup in general. So
Pat McGrath.
I,
Thank you, David.
I will, I hope that you dressed up for me. I'll take credit for that. You look cute,
Of course
okay?
I did.
I
I
think
can't come wife when Damien has an invite for me.
you're right.
Never. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, and I appreciate that. So, okay, so you started singing in church, and then what's kind of like the next? So you're okay. So you're like under 10, let's say. What are some musical influences coming from South Central? What kind of music's popular? What's going on during that time?
Oh man, you got of course, P-Funk for sure.
Okay, cool.
George Clinton.
Yep.
Rolls Royce.
Oh, cool.
Like you hear all of that in the street.
Okay.
I really came up under some real like LA-isms. I live like very close to Watts. Watts was like the next block.
Yep.
So you got Watts 104th Street Band that a lot of people don't even know about. That was a big part of LA culture.
Yep.
So, just listening to Grace Like That, church, and of course, the great Diana Ross. My mom played, Diana, Gladys, Aretha.
Motown,
exactly. Minnie Riperton.
Oh, yeah.
All of that.
Too. I think Minnie Riperton she never gets included in the conversation. I don't think enough people talk about her. She's amazing. They always talk about.
I know, right?
Yep, she's great.
She's so beautiful, like her spirit. Like I take so much from Minnie because I appreciate her angelic, the softness she has when approaching records, and I think about her when I have to do that to my records.
Yeah, no, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? You can't always be belting all the time. You have to.
Yeah. That's interesting because she absolutely had a soft approach, is a great way to describe it. I see it in you too. That's really interesting. I never thought what you said.
Yeah, but very effective, right?
I'm a big fan of Phyllis Hyman. I think Phyllis Hyman also does not get. She does not get like people don't talk about her.
Never. You're right.
She's amazing. I think Minnie and Phyllis both are very uncredited. Let's say.
Absolutely, and even Phyllis, like even her style, that she was a real diva. People don't even know Phyllis used to She used to a whistle on the mic with her voice. Like she was amazing.
Okay, so what was the takeaway? Do you think growing up as like a younger person in South Central? What was the experience? What were the cultural? Hold on, sorry. There's a plane going by. What were the cultural benefits and takeaways from that time for you? Do you think?
The cultural benefits. Well, it really toughened me up because it was a lot of heavy gang culture. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it really allowed me to like have thick skin. As far as the style, I always appreciate the way, we rocked our fashion, from the chucks to our, little gold necklaces, and how I would see all my older like aunts and sisters go to the club. They went to the club called Mr. J's, and they had their real short dresses on with their pumps and just looking fly, and they little bamboo earrings and the crimps in the hair. It was popping.
I love that stuff. Yeah, I love that.
Right.
So then you became a teenager, and what were some of your musical influences there? Because I know one. I'm going to say it, but I want you to say them first. So.
Whitney.
Okay, so yes, Whitney. I know you love Whitney very much. I also love Whitney, yes. But a question and Whitney is like, undeniably like the best voice of the past century, but like my thing is, what about Whitney made every little girl want to be her besides the obvious, which is she's, has the best voice and she's talented, gorgeous. My thing is like, what made everybody, first of all, I feel like I knew Whitney. Didn't you feel like you knew Whitney?
Absolutely.
So what about Whitney? And this is what I was thinking about today when I was going to talk to you. Like, what made Whitney? Why do we think we knew her? Number one, and what made every little girl want to be her? Like, girls could like her but not want to be her, but every girl want to be her. What was it about Whitney that made girls want to be her? You think?
Whitney, number one, she was beautiful.
Yes, gorgeous. Beautiful. Like, could have been a supermodel if she was a singer.
If she wanted to, right? Yep. She was beautiful. Her grace and class.
Yep.
Preceded her peers, in my opinion.
You're right.
She just had that je ne sais quoi,
Yep.
And also, Whitney knew how to really communicate through a song.
Yeah, you're
Whitney
right.
knew how to make you feel like she was just speaking directly to you.
You're right. You're right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's a universal. That's a gift. That's what you call an anointment. You know what I mean?
You're right. And also, someone that didn't even speak English could still feel it in the song. That's a really interesting point. You're right.
That's the magic.
It wasn't even what she was saying. It was how she was saying it to people, right?
Exactly.
And also, because I was thinking, like, she didn't write her own songs. Why were her songs so her, first of all. She didn't write them, but they were literally her. Like, it's, you know, is this the game of her soul, which is really interesting. And then, because I was thinking about that today, kind of her for a while, and I was like, why did her songs make you feel like she was talking to you, and even though she didn't write them? So that's right. It was like her anointing. You're right. Absolutely. That's it.
You know what? You know why people felt like why her songs fit her so much? Because I'm gonna tell you the difference with the process of making a record back then was, like, Whitney was a singer. That was her gift, period.
Yes. Yes.
She had writers. That's all they did was write.
Right.
That was their gift. They were musicians.
You're right.
That's all they did.
Like, I got to worry about that. She's like, I ain't got to worry about the writing. I'm saying it. You're right.
Yeah,
right.
And they understood sonically how to craft a record for a specific, person a specific voice. Yep. And that was it. They figured out the formula, and it worked. Clive knew her so well, and how to market her, and her sound, and what A&Rs to put. It was just different. But now everybody in this climate, to me, they want to do everything. They want to do everything. They want to engineer, produce, sing, write.
You're right.
So
it's a very good point. Because my thing is, Phyllis was supposed to be the kind of like, Clive wanted Phyllis to be the original Whitney. You know that, right?
That's right. Yep.
So then my thing is, but again, it's getting back to Whitney. Every single young girl I know wanted to be Whitney. Still, like, to this day, says Whitney, they want to be her. So, like, why didn't people want to be Phyllis, and why do they want to be Whitney, though? It's that je ne sais quoi is what I really think. But Whitney, also, like I said, I feel like I knew her, legitimately knew her. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah. And the thing about her, she did like a lot of upbeat, up-tempo songs, and still made you feel it. Like, it was just the soul. She could put on anything, a pop record,
and to be honest,
ballad.
She was a total diva, with her always doing this, always, like, you mean? Exactly.
I steal that sometimes.
Be happy, be proud. And then something interesting too. I didn't like slow songs as a kid at all. I just was not. I didn't like slow songs. It's just
why, David?
I just only liked up-tempo songs, all of them. Like, I didn't really like Tina Turner as a kid. She had a lot of slow songs. I was not into it. And then, like, as I got a little older, I was like, I love it so much. So okay, so, and then what do you think, how did Whitney influence your style in a real direct way? You mean? Like you said, you took from Minnie Riperton that, slow roll thing,
Right. She influenced me on really how to approach a record and how to touch people's hearts and souls. Like, if I go to the studio and I'm like, okay, it's a record they want me to do, and if I'm not emotionally connected to it, I'm just not gonna sing it. I'm not gonna sing it for the sake of, oh, this is a good marketing tool. That's not my mission statement. Is touching the hearts and the souls of the people, and I think that's what Whitney did.
Right.
So that's what it is. She showed me, how to put emotion into a record. And how to it's the little minute things that people don't even realize that's going on, that I knew what she was doing. Yeah. And I was just like, yeah, she's my GOAT.
Yeah, she is a GOAT. She is the GOAT. But so any other musical influences like in your, coming up era?
It's crazy because I really loved a lot of male singers like Jodeci, Bobby Brown. I love who else did I love? Tevin Campbell. I don't know. I just love real singing ass people.
Yeah, I get it. Well, everyone that I know that's a good singer only really likes good singers. Like they don't like kind of like, middle of the road type singers. They like people that, it doesn't have to be like popular at all. Like Luke James is a prime example. Luke James can sing his tail off, but like, everyone I know that's a singer thinks he's a great singer. You see what I'm saying? So
he's amazing.
Yeah.
Like Luke is in, like, that's what I mean. Like that's who's in my playlist. Like, the Lukes, the Ro James, you know what I mean? The Ushers. Yes. So like, for sure.
Okay, so then you're now a teenager, you're in South Central, are you at that point, hey Monica, are you is your eye on the prize? Are you focused on being a singer at that point, or what's happening when you're like?
Oh yeah, period. Because at this time, I'm going to Crenshaw High. I'm in the choir. I'm going off to Europe singing
Oh,
songs in French and all types of stuff. It's
amazing.
like, this is what I want to do.
Okay, great. And then what was your first kind of like big moment around that time?
My first big moment. That's a really good question. You know, nobody has ever asked me that, Damon.
Oh, wow.
Kudos to you.
Great.
Kudos to you.
You know, where's the moment that you're like, I am a singer? Like, you know, not like I'm in the choir, like
Oh,
I am V. Bozeman, I'm a singer. That's what you do. You mean?
it was probably, like I said, I grew up in church, so I went to the Methodist church. So a lot of, you know, in the summer they will have the conferences, and these conferences will be huge. I'm talking about everybody from all over the country would come to LA for these conferences.
Yeah.
And I was, huh?
I know, I said yes. Yes, I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah. And so I was, you know, picked to sing my solo for, you know, for the conference. And, you know, I tore that thing down. I tore it down. I think I got the Holy Ghost for the first time. You know,
Okay.
and my grandmother, you know, rest her soul, she was there. And that was the first time she had saw, you know, me really singing, you know, at this caliber.
Yep.
And so that was like, it was a wrap after that.
Good.
Yeah.
So, okay. So then, you know, my question is like, you're now getting, you know, maybe out of high school and things. What was your first kind of inclination into the business?
My first inclination,
Like
when I was in college. Okay, so when my beautician was like, V, what you doing? I was like, you know, I'm in school, but I still want to sing and da da da. She was like, well, my friend is doing, you know, auditioning for a girl group, and I was like, really? I was like, okay. And that was my first time, my beautician. And Kenny Burrell, he's still in the industry. Shout out to him if he's somewhere in the atmosphere. You know, he started a girl group called what was it called? Girls. I can't remember, but that was my first like real professional situation, and it was interesting.
How old were you?
I was 18.
Okay, so girl group, how many girls?
4.
Got it. Yeah. Recipe for some like, you know, interesting things, I guess, right?
Yes, very much so. I learned a lot though, you know.
Good, but to be honest, that's kind of that probably hopefully is the takeaway is you learn what prepared you for, you know, future endeavors to come and to be, you know, a solo artist and to know how to navigate that. You mean hopefully that could be the takeaway. So you mean
exactly, yeah.
And then so how long was that? How long did that last for?
Oh, that lasted for the summer.
Oh, quick. Okay,
that
quick.
was a summertime situation.
Yeah.
You know, the group disbanded, and I was like, okay, what I'm gonna do? Then I feel like shortly after that, I moved to Atlanta.
Got it.
I moved to Atlanta.
What's the first nightclub you went to in LA that you remember being like, yo, clubs, this is like, you know, clubs.
The Townhouse. You remember the Townhouse?
No.
My sister took it was that was like the club in LA, like, you know what I'm saying? In the early for a long time. But I went early 2000, late, I don't know. But my sister, she had a fake ID for me. She was like, you want to go to the club? I was like, yeah.
Of course, right? You're gonna say no? You mean like you're like absolutely.
I was mortified when I went inside because you knew I was extra young.
What songs were popular? Like what was going on musically at that time?
Ooh, we had Adina Howard.
Freak.
It was Montel Jordan. It was Brandy was popping.
Okay.
You know, stand up in my room. All that. LA was popping during that time. It was so different.
So you moved to Atlanta, you said, right?
Yep. Moved to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Moved to Atlanta. I worked with a whole lot of you know, producers, artists, just getting my feet wet. You know, Dallas Austin.
Yep. Oh, great.
I worked with everybody. I was under the tutelage of Jasper. He did a lot of Lloyd songs and Sierra songs. So I was just in the midst of all of that goodness, you know.
Studying, learning, right? All that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. That was a great time too. That was a great time for music, actually. That was like 2005 or whatever on then, right?
Yeah, that was like during like the Snap era where things was kind of,
I
it was
like
wild.
that was a good time for music though, actually, especially like, a lot of music coming out of Atlanta, so that was a really good time.
Yeah, it was. They were getting a lot of shine at that time.
Yep.
So it was a good time.
So then what's next after that?
After that, got in another girl group. And we got, pretty popular, and
Yeah.
Babyface heard about us.
Okay.
And he came, we auditioned for him, and back to LA I came.
With Babyface in the girl group?
That's right.
What were they called?
Mahogany.
Cool. When was that? I didn't.
Yeah, you've never heard of Mahogany, because that story, that's like a synonymous story. You ain't never heard that story? The Mahogany story? You want to hear it?
It's up to you if you want to share it. I mean,
So this is a Mahogany story. Look, Money about to start laughing. So we were a girl group, whatever. It's John in the girl group, 4 girls, right? So Babyface is like, okay, I'm gonna write these songs for y'all, da 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 da. And basically, he was all like, "V gonna sing lead, and that's just who I want to sing lead."
You?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he had like, he had favored me, but he favored me in front of the girls. They didn't like that.
Yep.
So
leading up, y'all weren't friends or anything. You just kind of like came together as a group, right?
Well, we were actually. We were.
You were friends, got it. Okay.
Yeah, but the horns came out, when he picked that lead singer. So anyway,
when he picked Beyonce, you mean, right?
I mean, I got. But I was like, okay. So we're practicing for our big showcase with L.A. Reid. And this is a shoe-in. You know what I'm saying? We have our Babyface records. Yep. We have great talent.
Yep.
It was a shoe-in, okay? So a month leading up to the thing, all the girls just start doing all crazy stuff. They start hating me. They don't talk to me, all this stuff. I mean, we even get in a fist fight. It's all types of things going on, okay? Monica was there for all of this. Monica almost had a damn stroke behind it. I'm going to tell you. So anyway, we finally make it to New York. We get our dressed up daughter for L.A. Reid. We looking fly, looking good. We ready. We rehearsed what we were supposed to rehearse 100 times. We get in that room. They press play. And all hell breaks loose. I mean, these heifers jumping on a desk, breaking LA's pictures, with his kids in the frame, scratching up his beautiful desk, just going gyrating around and not even performing what we practiced. And I'm just seeing all this stuff going on in slow motion. I'm just going just around like, hey, And after we end the showcase, and and all the girls is like, okay, we're done. And then all out of breath, looking crazy as hell. Shoes is off, heels is broken. LA is like, okay. All right.
Oh no.
We make our exit, and it's a wrap. Babyface never talks to this group again.
Oh,
period. No. It's a wrap. We don't get no deal. You can obviously see there's a power struggle going on here, right? Oh. So I was just devastated because this was a group I was in for years.
Yeah.
Our chance is here. It's time.
Yeah.
I have tunnel vision like a mofo,
Yeah. Yeah.
I was devastated.
Yeah.
Luckily, Monica was around. She held my wings up.
Well, just if anyone doesn't know who's on here, we're talking about Monica Payne, who is such a beautiful soul, but a force to be reckoned with, and an amazing. I was thinking about you too, because you're with Artistry, which is a great team for you to be with, but because they nurture and support artists in a different way than others. Monica, very much so. So, I say Monica used to be an artist, and now she works with artists. It's a great way to do it because she can totally navigate on a business side, but also navigate what the artists, artists are vulnerable and artists are artists. So like she can navigate that part as well very, very seamlessly. And that's an excellent place for you to be, with her and with artistry in general. So I could, obviously I love her, but like the team in general is great. So,
Absolutely. I love the team. Very lucky to have them.
Do you remember when we met, you and I, the first time we met?
The first time we met was at, of course, one of your functions. And I was like, oh, who is that? And Mike was like, that's Damon. I was all like, Cause you know how you have your little face on, you be like, hi, yeah. And I was like, okay, whatever. So, but then when I started like just peeping you out, I was like, he fly, he's sweet. He's just, you know, he's on his square biz. And I just like really learned to just not learn, but I grew to really like be very fond of you because you were just always consistent. But then when I really got to know you, I'm like, Damon is so sweet. Like, people don't know that, but I do.
I like it that way. I like it that way.
I know.
Listen,
I know.
only people that are supposed to know. You mean, I like it that way. So.
That's right.
But so I remember when I met you for the first time. You obviously don't, but you came to my party in New York, Mr. H, with Monica and Elizabeth Barron, and you guys were getting ready at Elizabeth's house, and I think it was you, or it was you that said everybody was so worried about what they were wearing for you. Like everyone was so, I had to get dressed up for Damon. I had to get dressed up for Damon, and we had just met. And you're like, all I know is everyone was so worried about what they were wearing tonight for Damon, Monica, Elizabeth, and you're like, you better all dress up. And he's like, it was the weirdest because we hadn't met yet. You didn't know me, and you were like, why was everyone so stressed out about what they're going to wear to Damon? Like,
I know, right?
So funny. And then I remember meeting you that way, and we clicked immediately. I thought you were.
We did.
You were cool. Well, because Elizabeth was bringing you, Monica and Elizabeth were bringing you, so we could meet or whatever. And I think we clicked instantly. I thought you were obviously gorgeous, which you are, but like you're such a sweet, cool person and cool. And you stood up on the table. Listen, I remember you stood up on the table and started dancing at the first time I met you. I'm like, I like that.
That was the first time in New York.
Yep, exactly. I'm like, I like.
Was Luke at that party that night too?
Yeah, he came to that party a lot. So yeah, listen, I'm like, I like that girl. And to be honest, in my head, we've been friends ever since. So.
Wow.
Yeah,
but I didn't meet you, but I saw you before that.
Okay, got it. Okay.
And that's when I was like, who is that? Like you were kind of intimidating actually. I was like, okay. But
a lot of people say
huh?
A lot of people say that they think I'm intimidating, but like I said, I like it that way. I mean, whoever knows, they're supposed to know me, knows me. If not, I don't mind people thinking that I'm this, that are over there. People around me know the truth. You mean so?
Yeah. Absolutely. But yeah, that was the funnest time I ever had in New York. That was a wild night.
For you, wow. It was a regular night for me. And then remember also we did the party with Luke James. We had you and Luke perform for the Grandma Ye thing at the Roosevelt Hotel. That was a great one as well.
Summertime.
And then so when your Empire came out, not much after I met you, like I think about a year later, right?
Yeah, it was like a year later,
because I had met you, and then you were in the very first scene of Empire TV show. The scene 1 was you, right?
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's a really great thing. And then I think that things started really taking off for you around that point, right?
It did.
Yeah.
It did. I mean, before then, till the end of time, that was a real big moment for me with me and Timothy Bloom when we were naked in that video.
Oh, yeah.
That was the first real like catapult.
Yeah.
But then that Empire, the power of TV, it was just like 0 to 100.
And then your song was on the soundtrack, right?
Yeah, it was on the soundtrack. Every season actually, but that What Is Love was just synonymous. It was, I don't know what it is about that song, but
beautiful song.
I will be singing that song forever for the rest of my days.
Great. And then so how did you get Empire? How did that go? How come about?
So at the time when I was working with Timberland, he was doing the music for Empire, and he was like, yo.
Oh, got it.
I showed him a piece that I did, Race Jones piece that I did with CeeLo. And he was like, yo, you can act too? I was like, yeah. And he was like, I'm going to show this to Lee. He doing some show. For next fall. I think you'll be great for it. I was like, okay. Lee saw it, and he called Monica. They chopped it up, and that was a wrap. I got in there. Me and Jim did What Is Love. It was like 4 a.m. I was like, I don't feel like singing, Jim. It's extra late. He was like, man, let's just hurry up and do this right quick. And we did What Is Love, and Lee was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I went to Chicago, did the whole song, but I never knew it was ever going to be the first scene. I went to the premiere, and I'm like, whoa, like I was surprised, more surprised than anybody. And I was like, he made this the first scene?
Opening.
So it was a
Yeah,
blessing.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you pretty much were on like every season, right?
Yeah, I did, except for one season, but well, actually, that's not true. I was on every season. Yep.
Yeah.
Every time something like crazy was about to happen, I would.
You mean so? I bought
Yeah.
that. I bought that album that you were on, the first one. You mean?
You did?
Yep.
Thank
Well, here's my thing. I say, I buy all my friends' albums. If I can't spend the $10 it is to support my friends that have supported me, I buy any. The only albums I purchase are friends. So
you.
you know,
Yeah. Yeah, you do support all your friends, Damon. Like you're very, very present with your village, your real friends. And it's all, like I said, you're very consistent, always have been.
thank you.
And
Well,
I definitely acknowledge that.
thank you, and I appreciate that and receive that. But I like supporting artists first of all. Number one, like, singers and artists in general, and I just like supporting my friends. So it's a win-win for me. And I get to listen to their album. Okay, what's not to win? So like.
Exactly.
Um, okay, so let's talk about your new single that came out yesterday called Juicy.
Yes, called Juicy, the remake.
Shout out the producer. What's the producer?
Jim Bees is the producer. It's an original and two-made track, but Jim Bees, got to it. He did his judge on it, as Monica would say. And we just created magic. I was like, wow, okay, if we're gonna do this song, we can't play.
Yep,
So,
you're right. The sample Juicy, yeah, right. Like,
yeah, we wanted to keep the integrity of it.
Yep.
And just add a little West Coast flavor, because Biggie did it for the East Coast type. So I just added a little West Coast vibe to it, and I love how it came out. It seemed like people are really liking it.
Well, I love it. First of all, I genuinely love it, and to me, it's a feel-good song. It's like a summer song for sure. It feels like the summer to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It feels like you walking in some short shorts and a white beater, walking down the street, like with your green scarf on.
Look, have you been talking to the people at Artistry for my video ideas?
See? There you go. It has that feeling though. It has that very kind of not carefree but free. It has a free feeling. It's really great. So have you performed it since Thursday? Have you performed it yet since Thursday?
Nope. This is the only platform I performed it on.
So I did my Legendary Thursday Zoom party, and you graciously premiered your song. It came out at 12 o'clock in New York time, 9 LA time, and you performed it at 9 o'clock live for the first time ever at my Zoom party. How was that?
Yeah. It was really fun.
Yeah,
you can see all the squares.
Yep.
On the screen. I was in the studio, so I had a good, little sound situation going on. It seemed like everybody was vibing to it. I could just see people's faces. It felt real intimate. I loved it.
Well, because the reality is, that's how things are happening right now. So,
right.
And I've done that party for about 5 or 6 weeks now, so I've kind of navigated how to work that. And the reality is, it's so cool because Monica kept telling me that you're going to have real sound, and that was like the next level up, because people just kind of have the mic, you get a real sound. It was amazing. So
yeah, I loved it. It's like, wow, you're breaking barriers even in the cyber world. But that's you, Damon. Like you have that thing to bring people together to enjoy. Like you're a great curator, especially for creatives and people in the industry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's always a dope, authentic vibe that you give.
Thank you.
So I was like, of course I'll sing this on Damon's platform.
I appreciate that.
No way.
I was honored. But people, getting back to what you're saying, people say that I create a safe space for artists, which I like. That's a great way to say it, I think. So
yeah, that's facts. Yeah, for sure.
So where can they get the single? Tell them where to get it.
You can get the single everywhere. Okay, everywhere. Yeah. You could Tidal, Apple, Spotify. You could TikTok this thing. You can do anything you want to do. I'm gonna be doing a lot of fun things with Juicy, with the fans and challenges and all types of things. So
Juicy challenge. I want to take the Juicy challenge, right?
Yeah, I think you'll be actually dope at it.
I don't know what it is.
It's gonna be a fun challenge.
I don't know what it is yet. Let me not get myself in trouble.
You can do it.
Are you working on an album? What's in the future?
Yeah, I'm almost done, but I'm always recording. That's never gonna stop.
I know.
Yeah, I'm working on my project right now. That's where I was when I did the, juicy stuff, working on that, just finishing up loose ends and just making sure everything is right and tight. This project means so much to me because it will be my first project coming out, freshman project. And a lot of people don't know that, but it is.
I didn't know
It's been a
that.
long time coming.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I put out singles here, singles there, but this will be my first like real body of work for people to purchase.
The title of the album yet, or is it to be revealed
Not
later?
yet. I think honestly, Damon, I had a little dream this morning and I wrote it down and I think I have the title. But I'm not gonna say it yet.
No. So, Claudine Joseph asked, what label is it on?
Artistry Records.
Okay, great, amazing. Artistry Records, yeah.
That's right.
So I want to ask you a kind of like changing gears question. So what are some like highlights? Because you worked, I just think about it, you worked with so many producers. You worked with like Timberland, CeeLo, all these great guys. What are some kind of like good stories you want to share of those working with all these producers? Anything cool and interesting you want to share?
I love telling people like about Babyface a lot because people don't know that Babyface is a goofball. People do not know he is so funny and goofy. Like, he's a comedian. He don't take himself as seriously as people think he does, and that's what I love about him. Because when you in that studio and your guard is down after you've been talking to like the legendary Babyface, you forget about that. Then it's time to record. It's like you recording with your friend or something. Like, it's amazing. I always tell people that about Babyface.
10, 12 hours in the studio, people with their hair down. That's what it is, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then Timberland, he's magical to work with. Timberland knows how to bring the best out of an artist and just give you that confidence that you need. He's magical. I feel like I could run the world working with Timberland. Yeah. And I recognize that that's his gift, aside from his musical talent, of course. But CeeLo, he taught me how to approach a song with character and be free. All of this stuff. I'm just like a sponge soaking all this greatness in from all of these people. Yeah.
All right. All right, my darling. I want to wish you all the success in the world. The album, of course, I'll support it. We're going to do everything we can to make it #1 across the world. Wish you amazing future, amazing performances, amazing more songs, amazing albums. I love you. I support you. You're amazing, gorgeous, talented, wonderful human that deserves the world. So,
thank you, Damon. I love you too, and thank you so much for supporting me all of these years, embracing me, and just like really being a real friend and a down ass homie. That's how we would say it in the West Coast.
I appreciate that. I love you, darling. Can't wait to celebrate with you.
For sure.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.